Breaking Old Habits. Page number 63, Chapter 6. Go back to your want list and analyze it properly. It seems that the reason you wrote down all those wonderful things is they reflect who you really are as a person, rather than what you have conditioned yourself to be. Questioning is the greatest tool one can use to shift a certain mindset and begin breaking an old pattern immediately. If you have written down on your wants list that you would like to walk your daughter down the essay or on her wedding day, but you find more pleasure in smoking, then you need to re-evaluate your standards. The reason you mentioned that on your wants list is because you love her, right? But when you really love someone, are you selfish in the process? Are you demonstrating your love for her, or are you in fact stating the complete opposite with your daily decisions? If you really loved her, then you would not do what you are doing. If you have written down that you want to be healthy and fit, that is because you ultimately see that you have respect for yourself. If you did not, you would not have even picked up this book. Does someone who respects themselves and preaches to their loved ones to do the same disrespect their life by overeating? You get my drift. These are questions that we must impose to begin the liberation process. Questioning your core beliefs and weighing that you want from your life against the current decisions you are making creates a massive shift of emotions. If you think your standards are currently low in your life, raise the bar. Only by raising our standards can we ever find the power to reach new peaks. Breaks the pattern, turn up the heat, then cool down. How is this habit affecting me mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially? This is the task where you are required to get massive leverage over yourself. Do you know the phrase, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen? We are now going into the kitchen. When you were a child and touched something that was extremely hot for the first time, it created a pain so strong that you knew you never wanted to touch it again. We need to hit the maximum pain threshold now. This step requires you to get into a really deep thought process and ask yourself probing questions. Basically, we are going to apply extreme emotional pain to not stopping your habit, phobia, or fear. For a brief moment, I want you to imagine the feeling you get when you see an electric appliance next to water. How have you conditioned yourself to react? In order to break the current habit, you need to condition a similar response. Go back to all those things you want out of life and think of never getting them. Referring back to the smoking example, this is how it would go. You would envision walking around with a tube stuck down your throat. You would imagine being terminally ill when your children are still young or when grandchildren are born. You would feel the extreme pain and torment you would put your family through. You would imagine inhaling a cigarette, follow the smoke into your body and watch it physically destroy your inside. Close your eyes and make it so real that it makes you nearly physically sick. It might even do just that and put a disgusted look on your face. I am sure you have heard the voice of someone who has had throat cancer and sounds like a robot. In your mind, you would imagine saying, I am choosing to destroy my life as well as the people I love the most. In that sick robotic voice, feel the emotional and physical pain you would endure and then transmute that inner energy into good aggression. This exercise is all about emotion. So really feel and get a great mental image of exactly what it is that you are giving up in your life and what effect it has already had. It's important to really focus on the fact that you are choosing to give all those things up. This requires that you close your eyes and visualize. Maximize leverage. Humans will always move toward something that we believe is far more pleasurable than the painful option. As long as we think the old habit has more pleasure, we will continue to choose it. If you want to break the pattern, you may have to attach something that causes extreme emotional pain every time you repeat the old habit. This will ensure you condition the new habit without so much resistance. Now, once you have hit that absolute pain threshold where you think you are going to get out of the chair and scream, reverse it. Begin to think of the pleasure if you stopped it now, the joy on your family's faces, the feeling of achievement you would attain, the strength you would display. Imagine playing with your children at the park or feeling healthy and fit. Really absorb yourself in that pleasure of being free from that choice of mental state. Creating a completely random scenario in your mind that seems ridiculously stupid is also effective in the face of habits, phobias, fears, or a situation that reminds you of pain. In order for this to be successful, you must look at the scenario as if you were watching it from an outside perspective, almost like sitting at a comedy show. When you feel the sensation or begin to think of the habit, reverse the whole scenario in your mind. Have the mental image play backward and then add some circus music to it. Replay it over and over again and add whatever ridiculous things you want to it. This is similar to smashing a plate on the ground. Even if you try to fix it, there will still be cracks that ensures the plate is never the same. That's what we want to do with those patterns in your mind. Smash them. For example, if you are scared of flying in an airplane, you would use this technique to change your state immediately. You will notice that fear disappears very quickly and may even turn into laughter. This practice is very powerful and is used by professionals around the world. If you face it, you can break it. If you run, you are done. Fifth, build on the NNN. B. Live in accordance with stimulus and response. A stimulus is something that stimulates our senses. For the example of smoking, the stimulus would be the mere thought of a cigarette, seeing one, speaking about it, or smelling it. The automated response would be to associate pleasure with it and go get one. A response is how we react to a stimulus. We must break the pattern immediately in the face of the stimulus, which will reinforce the new response. In other words, the stimulus remains the same, but our response is going to be different. If you hack at a tree, old neural net enough times, it will eventually have to come down. By doing the last section, you have just created a NNN, new neural net. This is now an option and another route that your mind will always find to feed. We have attached more pain to the old habit and more pleasure to the new one. The more you think of that new switch in pleasure and pain, especially in the face of your habit, more neurons are recruited to respond the way you desire. You are taking rope from your previous net and making your new one stronger every time you do it. Soon enough, as the new net gets stronger, the other one will disappear. You will definitely notice it weakening as your repetition and intensity increase. During the process of performing an undesired habit, most people think about things different from the action they are habitually doing at that time. For example, if they are smoking, they will think about what they are going to do that night. It's the same when people have a problem with overeating. They think of feeding their victimization as they eat, which may seem pleasurable. This creates an automatic reaction to think that the current habit provides benefits, but that's because you are not reminding yourself of the pain as much as you are of the pleasure, right? Question mark. With the smoking example, every time you inhale, you must think of effects that it's having on your life and what you are potentially giving up by doing it. By replacing your wandering thoughts with the effects of your behavior, you recondition your nervous system to associate pain with the habit. It may take 1, 2, or even 3 weeks, but it will amaze you how quickly you begin to change your reaction, thought, and feeling when faced with the old habit. This is the conditioning part of your achievement, and it must be done continuously. This works in any part of your life, and it is the key to changing anything you desire. 6. Spread the word and reinforce the new habit. The language we use is very important. It needs to be forceful and convincing. When you are faced with your old habit, pick up strength in your choice. Going back to the example of smoking, this is how it would work. If someone offered you a cigarette, you would immediately answer, "That's disgusting" or "yuck." Say it with meaning, confidence, and without too much deliberation. Be adamant about your speech in the face of the old habit. Get physical, verbal, and mental with your new direction. Go and tell people around you that you are over your phobia or your habit. The more you do this, the more real it becomes, and more important, it becomes far more bearable to you. The final step is to put something empowering in your habits, place, and create a ritual. If you have given up cigarettes, go for a walk every day or eat a healthier breakfast. When we put something in the place of an old habit, it sets us up for lasting change. We must also be extremely proud of every step we take. Even if you have stopped smoking or overeating for 4 hours, feel the pleasurable emotion of winning. Tell yourself how great you feel and amplify the pleasure as much as you can. Reward will always condition what we do in life. So use it to your advantage and learn to reward yourself. Keep the paper from step 1 where you have written down what you want. Fold it up and make it like an extra limb. Keep it in your pocket or somewhere where it will be visible for the next 3 to 4 weeks. This will remind you of why you are doing all of this and reinforce the new pattern. Thank you very much for listening. This is the end of page 68, chapter 6. Thank you very much.